Hey, comic lovers, EMoney, the old man, and the birthday boy right here. Yeah, it's Thor's birthday. He turns 2 today. Who's a good boy? Who's a good birthday boy? Yeah. Okay, so in addition to being his birthday, have a little update on him. So I know I told you guys that he was going to go for a play date later this week, but that turned out not happening. Schedules got changed.
This time it wasn't your fault.
No, had to rearrange some things and things got canceled. So instead, I just took Thor for a walk that day. You know, it was a typical walk, but he did really well because we came to the play area. You know, the fenced off field where
dog park.
Yeah, dog park can dogs can go to play, and there was a whole group of dogs in there. So you guys know I'm working on his socialization, so wasn't ready to trust Thor completely off the leash. He's come a long way in a year, social-wise, but I wasn't ready to trust him off the leash with unfamiliar dogs just yet. So instead, I walked him along the fence with all of the dogs on the other side, and the other dogs, they came up to him, and they were really curious, checking him out. Thor, he checked them out, he saw them. But he didn't get upset, didn't get growling or aggressive or anything, and everybody was really cool. And then when we were about to the end of the fence, a smaller dog, I forgot what the breed was. He notices Thor for the first time, and he comes, rah, 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 coming up to the fence. Did I surprise you just then? Rah, 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 rah. He comes running up to the fence and starts barking at Thor. The other dogs were fine; they didn't bark. So he starts barking, and Thor kind of looks at him and goes, "What's his problem?" But
I don't think he said that. No.
But he didn't pay him no mind, other than just kind of looking at him curiously. He didn't get upset because of his barking. So Thor was totally cool. And on the way back, same thing. Little dog comes running up to the fence, barking. Thor's like, "Whatever." So he does really well, and hopefully we'll get that play date with him and the German Shepherd Freya done very soon, okay? Sound good? All right, so in addition to Thor's birthday, we have a lot of cool stuff today. I have some entertainment news about a few comic book projects, some, not really news so much as trivia to share with you about Star Wars. And then I have, comic book reviews, previews, and, we're going to preview this week's PopUp comic shop, all right? So, if you're a character in a movie and you're not the #1 good guy, you know who you are. The old man and I, we saw 2 examples of it this week. Don't do the Rufio. This is Back Issues. Alright, so before we get started today, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, give us a thumbs up, and if you like, leave us a comment. You can tell us what you think of some of this entertainment news I'm about to share with you, or you can give us some recommendations on comic books. Alright, so first up in entertainment news, so as you know, the X-Men, mutants, Deadpool in general have not made their debut in the MCU just yet. The one exception being Professor Xavier in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, it was a different Doctor Strange. It wasn't our Doctor Strange.
Professor Xavier.
Professor Xavier wasn't ours.
Right.
Somebody off of some other universe.
Right, different guy.
Yeah.
All right, so haven't seen them just yet. So Marvel is in talks with people to fill those roles, and one of the people that are being talked to is Taron Egerton, who you may know from Rocket Man and Kingsman and other things. Well, he is in talks to play the iconic Wolverine in the MCU. Yeah, so he previously denied rumors of being involved to play Wolverine in the MCU, but it seems that there have been new developments since the last time he was asked. While speaking to the New York Times, Egerton was once again asked about the chances of him playing the role. He revealed that he has met with Marvel studio execs, including Kevin Feige, about potentially signing on to play the character. And he said, "I don't think it would be wrong to say that I'd be excited but I'd be apprehensive as well.
You should be.
Because Hugh is so associated with the role that I wonder if it'd be very difficult for someone else to do it. Hopefully, if it does...
Not wrong. Now, he's got some chops. I mean, he's got skill.
Yeah.
But, man.
He said, hopefully, if it does come around, they'll give me a shot.
I'll give you a shot.
Right.
But you better be good.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like Edgerton may have reached out to Feige himself to see where things are in the casting process. It's what he made it sound like. So we know Marvel Studios is planning some kind of X-Men reboot, but we haven't had any solid updates since Disney's acquisition of Fox Studios in 2019.
I'd like to see him drop a few characters here and there before they come out with the full-blown movie.
Right. Most would tend to agree that Edgerton would be a solid choice to play Wolverine if Feige does decide to cast a younger actor as the iconic character.
How tall is he?
I'm not sure. It feels like he's a little on the short side by Hollywood standards. Yeah.
Wolverine is supposed to be short. That's one of the few things Hugh Jackman couldn't pull off.
Right. So what do you guys think? Would you like to see Taron Egerton join the MCU as Logan, or do you have someone else in mind? Drop us a comment and let us know. I know a lot of people have pictured Daniel Radcliffe in the role, but I'm not sure if he's been in talks with Marvel about it. All right, so next up, another comic book character news. So Christian Bale's latest role has seen him undergo a transformation into Gorr the God Butcher, the dastardly villain in the upcoming sequel Thor: Love and Thunder. The character is directly inspired by a comic book version of Gorr who had terrorized gods on the printed page before making his MCU debut.
The guy's a heavy, high-level bad guy.
Oh yeah, he's not to be taken lightly. But while there are some similarities between the original Gorr in the comic books and the MCU version that is played by Bale, there are some differences as well. And that's mostly thanks to the Harry Potter franchise.
What?
Harry Potter, once again. In a new interview with IGN, Thor: Love and Thunder director Taika Waititi explained the thought process behind designing the live-action Gorr. His face in the comics, unfortunately, does kind of resemble Voldemort. So I was like, people are just going to automatically make that connection. So we decided to depart from that design a bit more and sort of keep the elements of the tone and the fact that he had a sword. Really, it was about his story, and that was the most important thing to us. So, and if you look at pictures of the comic book version of Gorr, I kind of get it. I mean, usually
I get it now, but I never would have put the two together watching it.
I mean, usually I have a rule about, diverting from the source material and changing it.
Yes, you do.
But in this case, I actually kind of get it.
Well, it depends on how he looks. To me, the most important thing is the setup. We need to know his origin.
Yeah.
Because it's badass.
All right. Thor: Love and Thunder opens in theaters this Friday. All right, so then moving on to a little bit of a tidbit about Bryce Dallas Howard. So as many people know, she is quickly becoming a fan favorite director of the Star Wars franchise, having directed several episodes of The Mandalorian, much to the delight of fans. So one interviewer wondered how it came about Bryce Dallas Howard in the role of Star Wars director. Well, she says that the opportunity for her to direct Star Wars would not have come about if not for Solo: A Star Wars Story.
Okay.
So she had just finished, this is according to Bryce Dallas Howard, she said, I had just finished Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. We were shooting in Pinewood Studios, which is the same location where my dad was. And I went to him and said, please, can I shadow you on Solo? I feel unbelievably lucky and privileged for all the access that I have had in my life, but I'm asking right now for more. Please, 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 can I shadow you on Solo? And, her dad allowed her to do that, and it was in that shadowing process that she got into contact with a lot of people related to the Star Wars franchise. And Howard afterwards believed that she was put on a list, or maybe her name was, put in a hat by Favreau at that point. And then she was emailed by Favreau about an undisclosed Star Wars project. And she said, we got on the phone, and he talked through Star Wars and George and what was incredibly meaningful about Star Wars and storytelling and sharing these really beautiful, inspiring sentiments. Howard was then officially offered a directorial position. Favreau said, I've written a series, and I'd love for you to take a look at it. You can come in, and I'll show you all the artwork and stuff, and we can talk about it, and you can see if you'd be interested in it.
Interested. I'd have been like, yeah.
Right. Howard then read the pilot, and when it got to Baby Yoda, she just said, what am I reading? So that's how Bryce Dallas Howard got her start in the Star Wars franchise, in a nutshell, really. All right, so that is going to do it for entertainment news. Tell us what you think about the changes made to Gorr the God Butcher, how much you like or possibly dislike Bryce Dallas Howard being a part of the Star Wars franchise, and also tell us who you'd like to see playing Wolverine in the MCU. All right, now let's head inside and talk comic books. All right, so if you've never seen us do this before, we grade these comics on a 5-shield rating system. We give them each 2 scores, one for writing and story, and then the other one for artwork. And then we combine the 4 scores together to give it an average overall score. So first up are mentions this week.
And I don't think you have dishonorable mentions.
No.
But let's start off with Captain America, Symbol of Truth, number 2. Not my favorite cover, but...
All right, so in this issue, Captain America, Sam Wilson, is investigating a lead in Latveria, and he goes into a villain stronghold, and he finds none other than Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool, who's in the middle of his own investigation, aka having a knife in his his colon? Yeah, knife in his colon and hanging upside down. So Cap gets him out of there, and I do like the show of respect that Wade throws him, because he doesn't call him Falcon, he doesn't call him Sam, he calls him Cap. So,
it is Deadpool, so that is a big thing.
Mm-hmm. So the two of them team up to take out the terrorists, and they hop into their helicopter to make their escape, and they're met by an unexpected visitor. And it looks like they're going to be sticking around a little longer than they anticipated.
A little bit.
Yeah. So to read up on that twist, get Captain America, Symbol of Truth, number 2, guest starring Deadpool. So you mentioned earlier how this might be a teaser for Deadpool in the MCU.
I mean, they could be introducing him into some of the other comic books in order to bring him on into the MCU.
Right, because as we know, Sam Wilson is now Captain America in the MCU. So a future Deadpool Captain America team up like this is not completely out of the cards. So
it doesn't make me feel good, but no, it's not impossible.
The old man's not a Deadpool fan, if you didn't know.
The movies are good, but that's about it.
I thought you liked the comic books we read about a year ago.
I mean, they're okay, but I just don't care for the character that much.
Okay. All right, well, moving on. And this got, what was it?
All 3 of our mentions this week are the same score. They were all rounded up, and they hit 3.5 after we rounded.
3.5 rounded up. All right, so next up.
All right, this one I picked up purely because it's a Chip Zdarsky project. So you may know he's the guy who did Stillwater, but more importantly, he did the most recent run on Daredevil, which I've just finished reading over again, and it's really, really good.
Okay.
So this is Public Domain, number 1.
All right, so this comic, it doesn't actually follow the superheroes.
There are no superheroes for real in it.
It follows the creators of said superheroes. So in this comic, there is a superhero by the name of Eminent Domain.
He's an actor playing the part.
Well, no. Blake Powers is the actor playing the part.
Okay.
The superhero is Eminent Domain, and the creator, one of the co-creators, is guy who never had an abundance of money, And, and sadly, that's how it is with a lot of comic creators. So they're making a movie about eminent domain.
It's not even the first movie. It's like the third one or something.
Right. And it's played by an actor named Blake Powers. And the creator's son is a reporter. And, he is forced by his editor to write a puff piece on the upcoming movie and do an interview with the actor Blake Powers. So, Blake Powers is this, arrogant actor who, doesn't even know the history of the character that he's playing.
I hope that's not true of all these guys playing my favorite superheroes.
Mm-hmm. So, he gets into a fight with the reporter, who is, as I said, the creator's son, and the son ends up socking the actor.
Socking him, punching him.
Right.
Sock.
And, it goes on where the creator gets invited to the premiere of the movie, and all the actors and the directors, they're getting all the the shots and the pictures, and everyone's loving on him.
And the creator's standing in the corner getting ignored.
Yeah, and hardly anybody knows who he is. So I was kind of like, it's okay on this issue, and then the last page it shows an unexpected twist, and I'm like, oh, things just got interesting.
Yeah. It kind of changes things a little bit.
I want to see how this plays out even more now. So looking forward to the next issue. Chip Zdarsky's Public Domain #1 ends up with 3.5 shields.
After we rounded it up.
Round it up.
All right, this one I got on a whim. Didn't know anything about it, don't know the creators. I read the synopsis and it just sounded, well, it actually sounded like Kick-Ass.
Okay.
But I liked Kick-Ass, so I thought I'd give this a shot.
So, story Wannabes follows. Now, there's other superheroes, like actual superheroes in this world. I think you mentioned that.
These two kids, the Wannabes, idolize the real superheroes, and they want to be them, even though they don't have any powers. They even name off a bunch of heroes or vigilantes that do the thing and don't have powers.
Mm-hmm. So, they even mentioned they have nothing but masks and a couple of karate lessons. So, they go around trying to stop, purse snatchers and, petty thieves and stuff like that. And they usually end up getting their asses kicked.
Just like Kick-Ass did.
Right. So, they go through this, and you find out that the motives for these two kids is very different. One kid just wants to help people. The other kid, he just wants the glory and the rightful ability to hurt people. Without repercussions.
Yeah, he's not a good kid.
Yeah. So, things happen when they try to thwart another, I think it was a drug deal gone bad, and they try to thwart that, and their disagreements come to a head during that time, which is not a good time to have a dispute when you're supposed to be, stopping the criminals.
It's from Scout Comics. We'll give it another shot.
Yep. Looks like it says Scoot Comics here, but
Scout.
Okay. Wannabes #1, 3.5 shields. All right, so there is our mentions for this week. These two, obviously brand new, have some potential to them, so check them out at your local comic book shop. All right, next up.
All right. Amazingly enough, this week, no ties. I think I hear rounds of applause coming from the background.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
All right, so anyway, #3 on our hit parade, a book that I think we've mentioned before in back issues. It's from Aftershock Comics. It's a different version of Santa Claus, and it's called Naughty List.
Yep.
This is #3.
All right, so this, takes a different look at the mythology of Santa Claus and all the stuff surrounding it. And, some things that I found interesting were, one is that no one sees his sleigh, ever. And anyone who says that they saw Santa's sleigh is, what did he say? Is either a liar, drunk, or confused. I heard that, I was like, aw. Like, I kind of liked, just believing that people saw it sometimes. And then, when he gets down into someone's house, for some reason he becomes visible.
He doesn't go down the chimney. He just kind of phases in.
Yeah. And he says he's only been caught a number of times,
small number of times.
Yeah, which I think is kind of impressive because you go down so many chimneys or houses a year and you've only been caught a handful of times. Like, all right,
when he comes in our house, he better be awful quiet. I sleep light.
Now, whenever I think about when Santa gets caught or a kid wakes up, I always think Santa Claus is like. Maybe some fairy dust and kid falls back asleep or something like that.
I always figured he did the Men in Black thing.
Okay. In this version, he's not so subtle about it. He chloroforms your ass, or rather, one of his elves do. So there's a little something about Santa, and
also the reindeer thing.
Oh yeah, he says people talk about Rudolph's nose lighting up the sky. It's like there is no Rudolph. And it says Rudolph was created in 1939 by a department store for a coloring book giveaway. And also he's never topped over 220 pounds at his absolute fattest. So I'm an immortal, I don't need to put on the extra pounds. He's not a effing Vegas act. So also another myth about Santa Claus. They do that same thing in the Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell. He's like, do I look that big to you? And so, anyways, the whole story is his naughty list has been stolen, and
somebody's using it for nefarious purposes.
Yeah. Now I didn't see the culprit coming because they didn't really allude to anything in previous issues. That this was the guy, and it was much darker than anything I could have imagined.
Good background.
I thought some evil corporation maybe stole the naughty list or something. I don't know, but this is some pretty dark shit, and now Santa is looking to get it back. So naughty list number 3, I believe it's number 3 of 4 because it said at the end of this issue to be concluded. So. Naughty list number 3 comes in at
3.5.
3.5 solid, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up.
All right, this next book got more conversation about it in the comic book shop between me and you of any comic book in months. And it is from Image. It's 8 Billion Genies, number 2.
All right, so what happens in this story is 8 billion genies, or a genie for every person on Earth, pops up and says, I'm here to grant you one wish.
Just one.
One wish, only one wish. All right, so, things go from there, and, this, like the old man said, this, brought up a lot of conversations about what you would wish for and things like that. One of the things I wondered was, how is the Earth still standing after the first 10 seconds? Because... I figure, there's got to be some psychopath out there who says, I wish to blow up the Earth, or something like that. Or, I wish for this country or that country to blow up or disappear or something like that. Well, the second issue actually addresses a lot of that stuff. So, let's see. In one page, all right, so, the President of the United States asked I guess he's the Attorney General or the Joint Chief of Staff or whatever.
Some big general.
Yeah. He asked him to take one for the team and make a wish.
To use the general's wish, not the president's wish.
Right.
The general's wish.
I wish that the U.S. would now and forever be the foremost power on the planet in all things for the benefit of its people and people all over the world. And I noticed this after the fact, that his genie says, wish acknowledged, General. Not wish granted, wish acknowledged. All right, so the genie said that, just about every country on Earth made the same wish, except New Zealand. They were really chill about it. And, obviously you can't have every country be on top, so it just doesn't work. I mean, they could create a bunch of different realities where each country is on top, but that would take a lot of work.
The genies did the right thing, and they just took those kind of wishes and just washed them out.
Right. So...
You lost your wish,
Mm-hmm.
but none happened.
Yeah. So, they don't like things on a global scale. They don't like doing those wishes because they want everyone to have their wish. So, that's why, the Earth is still standing after the first few minutes. Unless they said it's funny or interesting or ironic, is what they say here. So, another thing they do is, like, one guy, I think he was in Buenos Aires, he has a bunch of kids, and when the genies first show up, one kid asks for a big pile of toys. That's his one wish. So his dad gets frustrated with him, and he says to his genie, I wish that none of my kids can use their wishes without my permission. And wish granted. So he was kind of smart, but also he's kind of bulking up on his wishes.
Well, you don't know. I mean, he could be wanting the kids to wish for things that he wants, or he could just be wanting the kids to use their wishes intelligently.
Yeah, you don't know how that's going to go. Either, you got to use it for me, or, you can use it for yourself, but it's got to be approved by me. So we'll see about that.
I thought I was pretty smart myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a 5-year-old using a wish.
And, all these different conversation things that, come up in this. Another one, what was it? In one, this guy and his son, they're alone. He's a single father. His mom passed away, and he wishes to bring his mom back. And his genie says, "Wish granted," and she comes back. Now, you might remember in Aladdin, Genie tells Aladdin with Robin Williams' best Peter Lorre impression, "I can't bring people back from the dead. It's not a pretty picture. I don't like doing that." But these genies obviously don't have a problem with that. And I like that they don't grant your wishes maliciously. Like, they have some, secret twist on them. No. Like, you didn't word it correctly, so I'm gonna, grant your wish, but it's not the way you wanted it.
You wish for a mountain of gold. Good luck getting out from under it.
Right, exactly. Stuff like that. So the genies applaud him after the mom comes back, and he's like, "Why are you guys clapping?" And the genie says, "Wishing is an art. It brings us joy to see it practiced well." So, that was a nice little part of it. So,
all right, let's wrap it up.
All right. So, there's a lot of stuff to talk about in this series, in this issue.
I want the viewers to tell us who got all 3 characters in the last panel, because we only got 2 of them.
The last page, there's a knock on the door at the bar, and they open it up, and these 3 people says, "Hi, I'm Ernest, this is Dorothy, and this is Jim."
So you all tell us who you think these 3 are.
Yeah, I got the one in the back. I had to look up the guy who's talking, but I eventually got it. But the second one, the lady, Dorothy, she might be a little harder to get for some people.
I got the first, the guy in the front. I should have got the guy in the back, but foolishly didn't. But until you told me, I didn't know who the one in the middle was.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
But yeah, get this. It's a great conversation, and it's already been picked up by Amazon for a series.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So second issue, already getting an Amazon series. Is that a record? That might be a record.
I'm sure somebody's been picked up before they ever published. All I know is, Amazon, you better throw some bucks at this thing, because it ain't going to be done well if you do it cheap.
All right, so 8 Billion Genies issue number 2 out of 8 ends up with...
that one got, after we rounded it up, it hit 4 shields.
All right, and they need to make sure they do CGI for the genies. I mean, usually I'm not big on CGI.
You can't do those practical.
Right, you can't do practical effects for that. You can't don't do like people dressed up in genie outfits doing that. No,
well,
that's...
To me, the genies are almost translucent. You
right.
pretty much see through them.
Yeah, so do it right.
Moving on.
All right.
So next, I was bragging about how good I thought Batman Fortress number 1 is. And looky here, Batman Fortress number 2, it's our number 1 spot.
All right, so in this issue, in previous issue, a alien threat is surrounding Earth, and Superman is missing.
He's out of there.
Yeah. So at first, Batman thought it was isolated to Gotham because he didn't have any communications, and he finds out that no, it's the entire world. So once the heroes organize, they get together with the armed forces of the world and they launch an attack on the alien ships. Kind of like Independence Day.
Exactly like Independence Day, except with superheroes.
Right.
And jets.
So, they attack these orbs that are surrounding the Earth, and their, firepower is unsurprisingly ineffective.
Just like Independence Day.
Yeah. The only thing that seems to hurt it is, surprisingly, Aquaman's trident. He leaps onto the thing, he plunges his trident into it, and it starts to crack a little bit, but then the orb fights back. And things don't go well for the armed forces as well as the heroes, and Superman is still missing.
Yeah, but Batman is still in charge.
Right.
He's got this.
So in the last few pages, we get a little glimpse of who might be responsible for these attacks, although the heroes themselves don't know yet. So Batman Fortress number 2, and also solid artwork. I think it's Robertson who's responsible for the art in this issue. So Batman Fortress number 2 ends up at our number 1 spot with 4 shields out of 5.
No rounding. 4 solid shields.
Right. All right, so that is our comics for last week's releases. Get them at your local comic book shop. And, highly recommend check out 8 Billion Genies to, have some conversations with your friends.
Yep. A lot to talk about there.
All right, next up is what's coming up this week.
Now, you remember we talked about Chip Zdarsky?
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess who's taking over the realm on Batman at issue 125?
Oh.
The Chipster.
Okay.
So that comes out this week. I'm real excited about that. I think it's the last issue of the Joker. Joker number 15 comes out.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know it was a maxi series, but I think it is. Amazing Spider-Man number 5. That's been a good story.
All right.
Ghost Rider number 4. Never really cared for Ghost Rider until this run, and I like this one.
Okay.
And after the hoopla about What If Miles Morales number 4, let's see what number 5's all about.
All right. Okay, so there are your previews for this week's comics. Get them at your local comic book shop now. All right, now on to a preview of what you can expect at this weekend's pop-up comic shop. All right, so this weekend's pop-up comic shop is this Saturday, July 9th. It is 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., 7002 Brookbend Way, Louisville, Kentucky. So we're going to have all kinds of cool stuff for you guys to check out. We have comic books, not all, but comic books starting at $1, and they go up from there, all kinds of cool keys for you guys to check out. And then we're going to have toys, action figures. We change them, rotate them out every week. So if you've been there before, it's going to be different from what you saw the last time you visited. And then we're going to have DVDs and Blu-rays as well. All right, so giving you guys just a little preview of what you can expect at this week's pop-up shop. I have 3 comic books here for you guys. The first one we just got this last week. This is Avengers King Size Annual number 10. This is the first appearance of Rogue. So if you're a big connoisseur of X-Men first appearances, this is pretty crucial for your collection.
Now, we've had this book before, and they don't last too long.
Mm-mm. Also, we have the first appearance of Gambit as well, so you can buy those 2 together if you like. Then, in honor of Thor: Love and Thunder this weekend, we have 2 crucial comic books for you guys that you got to have if you're a big lover of Thor: Love and Thunder and just Thor in general. First up, we have Thor: God of Thunder number 25. This is graded, as you can see. CGC graded 9.0, and it is the first cameo appearance of Jane Foster as Thor. So you're going to want to have that. Then, also crucial, is Thor: God of Thunder number 6. This is at a 9.8, and this is the origin of Gorr the God Butcher, right there. We had the first appearance of Gorr. I think we had him last year. That one sold pretty quick. So you're going to want to get this one as well. And, if, they do it half the justice that it got in the comic book, the origin of Gorr is a pretty fascinating one. It's one you really want to check out. All right, so all these are going to be available this weekend at the pop-up shop. All right, now on to a couple of not comic books, we did comic books. A couple of toys that you guys can get at this week's pop-up. All right, so we have been accumulating a bit of a video game action figure collection. And they actually sell pretty fast because we sold our Resident Evil 2 collection 2 weeks ago, and last week we sold some Tomb Raider stuff. So, you know, they keep leaving as we get more in. So right now we have a collection of Marvel vs. Capcom action figures. Here we have Venom versus Captain Commando right there. And then we have this one we just got last week. This is from X-Men vs. Street Fighter. This is Rogue versus Zangief. And
whoever that is.
I've seen him. I know who he is, sort of. I didn't play a lot of Street Fighter, but I played it.
I didn't either, because that's all hand coordination, of which the old man has very little.
So if I pronounced that wrong, I apologize. Rogue versus Zangief.
He won't care. He's not a real person.
Well, fans might care if they're big Street Fighter people.
They'll get over it.
Okay.
Actually, they probably won't, but hey.
Then also from X-Men vs. Street Fighter, we have Gambit versus Zangief. So we have Rogue and Gambit in action figure collections, and we have the first appearances of Rogue and Gambit in the comic books.
Did you do it on purpose?
No, but that was a happy accident.
Huh.
I remember Zangief in the Street Fighter movie. A lot of people rag on it, but I thought it was great. I had a lot of fun watching that movie. And one of my favorite lines is when Zangief, he's a big, strong, dumb guy, and he's like, "The Colonel's a bad guy? Well, then why you help him?" And he's like, "Because he paid me a freaking fortune." And Zangief is like, "You got paid?" Anyways. So there are the Marvel vs. Capcom figures we have. Remember Van Damme's line in the movie?
No.
Where he gives the big speech and he's like, "Now who wants to go home and who wants to go with me?" Love that line.
I'm going home.
All right, so also a big movie of the 90s everyone loves, Batman and Robin, right?
Everyone did what?
Everyone loves Batman and Robin, right? No? No? Okay. All right, so we have a couple figures from Batman and Robin, which surprisingly are a bit of collector's items because they're kind of hard to find. This one, Batman and Robin, Guardians of Gotham City, double pack right there. Now remember how I've told you before I'm a action figure purist? I believe in getting action figures that were actually in the movie, comic books, TV show, whatever. Well, unfortunately, these are actually movie accurate because I believe they wore these outfits towards the end of the film. So if you're a purist like me, these actually, fit the bill. So you have that. And then, to be joined by their new partner, Batgirl, you have Batgirl's Ice Strike Cycle right there. So it comes with a action figure and her vehicle right there. So these also, and we have a few more Batman and Robin and other Batman figures at the sale this Saturday. So come and get them 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. All right. So that about covers the comic book pop-up shop preview. Now let's head back into the garage with Thor. All right, comic lovers, so we told you it's Thor's birthday today, so we have a couple treats in store for him. And this one, we're going to do a little trick, and we're going to keep it simple. I think you got this. All right, this is our doggy challenge video of the week.
His attention. His attention.
Hey. Hey. Huh? Is that good? Get ready? You want to do it again?
No.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Look, fool.
That's kind of scary to look at up close. Like, rah, rah, rah.
All right, back to work. Come on.
All right, one more. Yep. You got one more in you?
You are just a glutton for punishment.
All right. Mm-hmm. All right. All right.
Get you?
Yeah, he nicked me right there.
Yeah, that's what you get.
Easy. Easy.
All right. Let's move on before you bleed.
All right, so that was the doggy challenge video of the week. Now it's time for the birthday cake. Yay! All right, so we have a doggy bone cake right here, and we're not going to eat all of it right now because we're going to save some for your brother Jax, aren't we? Yeah. But we're going to have...
Jax, who's that?
We're going to have a little bit right here. Not going to put it in my mouth.
Yeah.
What do you think? Is it good? How's it rate on your treat scale? Good?
Huh,
Okay.
that good.
Do you want more? I guess that's all you really need to know. Do you want more? Yeah? All right, and then just a little bit more.
Jax is not going to get much.
And then we're going to be done, all right? Now, because it's your birthday, I'm not going to make you work for it, okay? All right? And eat. Here you go.
You have to tell him? I think he gets that.
All right, good boy. Happy birthday, Thor. Happy birthday. Yeah.
I think the E trick is one he's got down already.
Mm-hmm. You know, the MCU scheduled a new Thor movie just because it's your birthday. Yeah. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All righty then.
All right. So, be sure to join us next week. We're going to have our review of Thor Love and Thunder, a bunch of other cool new stuff. Right, buddy? Yeah. All right. We'll see you on the next one. Excelsior.
True believers, is it fall yet? It's too hot.